Okay, well, this happened in 2002. I was in a boy band.
What's the name of the boy band? Better be catchy. I want a good pun. Hit me.
I'm almost a bit embarrassed to say the name of the band because the name of the band was called Life. It was spelled Lyfe.
Of course it was with the Y. Of course. I saw it coming from a mile away.
But our group leader made it an acronym, and oh my god,
that explains the why. Because that was my second question,
and it stood for licking your fingers every time. And I'm like,
that is extremely sexual. I was not expecting that.
Sweet Derek, are we live?
We are live, coming to you from Las Vegas, Nevada. This is the Naturals Pod.
Here comes the man in black. Wouldn't that be funny if that shit just started playing in the headphones? All right. Welcome to this episode of the Naturals Pod. As always, I'm Uncle Kyle, seated on the other end of the couch, the steely blue-eyed devil, Sweet Derek, the producer.
What's up, Netties? What's going on?
Today, we have a very special guest. Social media influencer, comedian, and fitness enthusiast, the incredible Kitty Pineapple.
hello.
Welcome to the show.
Wow, social media influencer. That's weird. I've never been called that before.
I just threw it in there, you know. We're adding a little spice to the resume, zhuzhing it up a bit.
Like, I don't know what I tell people to do, but just laugh and shit. But yeah, can I say shit?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool.
Shit. Maybe I should add that to the pre-pod interview. Be like, what is your preferred intro? Do you want John Cena music? Ooh, Derek, I might need an intro. I might need a walk-in.
You need a walk-in music now? Yeah. So every time you come in the room. Is it every time you come in the room or every time on the pod? Because then it's like ridiculous if I have to play it every time you walk into the pod room.
We'll work that out at the next business meeting. Okay. So, Kitty, how long have you lived in Las Vegas, Nevada? Because you were originally from the beautiful state of Hawaii, correct?
Yeah. I moved to Vegas in 2012. But that was like 2 years after I left Hawaii. So in between Hawaii and Vegas, I was living in Colorado Springs.
Okay, cool. I have a lot of family in Colorado. Colorado, another beautiful state for a slightly different reason. Mountains, snow, you know. Yeah. So how long have you been in comedy? Did you start in Hawaii or Colorado, or was that a strictly Vegas thing?
I started comedy, I remember the date, 2000. It was December 8th, 2005.
Love
Ooh,
it.
That's impressive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got the exact date nailed in.
Yeah, it's my comedy birthday. Yeah, because I remember December 1st was the day I went to go like scope out the comedy scene, like just to watch and see how it goes. And I saw people go up, like professionals I've heard of before. I was like, wow, they're here, they're doing this. And then I saw some people that just never done it before, and I'm like, I can do this too. So okay, and I did. The next week I did it, and I bombed.
I mean, you know, that's kind of a comedy rite of passage. You got to get up there and suck at it initially before you get your legs underneath you.
You know, and I'm glad that was my first experience bombing, because I've seen comedians like open micers just get up on stage, destroy their first time, and then move on. And I'm like, bruh, I wish you had what I had.
Yeah. Well, I think it's better to bomb first, though, because I feel like if you get up there and just crush it initially, it gives you this false sense of confidence. Because one of our other guests that came on, Evan Connolly, shout out Evan, he said like the greatest thing. He said, when I have a night where I go out and perform and I have a really great set, if it's not too late, I make sure that I go to an open mic and do it again just to humble myself and make sure that I keep things at the right level. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And he said it's literally like kind of open mics is where you learn to be okay with bombing. And I thought that was a great take on that. You know?
It was very poetic.
Yeah,
I almost shed a single tear when he said it. It was great.
It was.
Yeah. So wait. He said if he had a great night, he's gonna go somewhere and just cancel all that shit.
Well, see, here's the thing. I don't think it's implied that he's going to the next spot to intentionally bomb, but it'll be. I mean, because you've been to open mics, you know the scene. Like there are also a lot of comics there who are trying to get on stage, and you might not get the biggest laugh response versus if you're opening for somebody or you get a feature spot somewhere where there are paying customers who are, there might be some comics there, but for the most part, you have an audience, and then you get those big laughs and you get the whole room going. Like it probably feels incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. And when you do that, you don't do anything else after that. You're like, all right, I'm done. I'm on a high. I'm going to keep it and I'm going to write
that's
it.
what I feel like that's what most people would do. He's like kind of like a low-key sadist. I love you, Evan. But
it is because you got to bank those good feelings and go and decompress and let the endorphin rush like taper off.
He's like, I need to be humbled now and bomb. It's like, no.
I didn't think about it in the moment, but that is low-key sadistic that he's like, I need to go punish myself now. Oh my God.
Yeah, it is an interesting take, but it was a poetic moment for sure. It makes sense. Because, open mics, they seem tough, but that's kind of where you learn your craft. And I mean, even Kyle said it good. And he's not a comic, but he just says, like, that is where you learn to be happy with how you tell your jokes, not necessarily the crowds at open mics. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
So, before you got into comedy, did you have like one comic that was like a really big influence where you're like, this is what I want to do? Or did you just strictly have an interest, go to the show and be like, I could do this, and the rest is history?
Yes.
This to the second part.
You know what? Comedy was never a thing like that I thought of doing, but like for some reason it would always pop up in my life. Like Premium Blend would be on like TBS early in the morning, and I'm like I'm a teenager. Like what do I know about or care about stand-up comedy? And then in kindergarten, someone mentioned to my classmate, like, hey, maybe one day you're going to be a comedian. And he was a class clown. And I'm like quiet, like, that's a weird title for anything, comedian.
Yeah.
And then one day I'm like, I'm fired from my job and I'm looking at this book called The Comedy Bible. I'm like, all right, I wonder if I can do this. And that's where I fucked up. Because every time I say I wonder if, I end up doing it.
Yeah. I mean, that's where there's a will, there's a way. I thought you were about to say that it was on some Indiana Jones type stuff and the book opened and it was like, no, comedy.
No, that's a story about the wig. Yeah, that's the story about the wig. That's what happened. Okay, when I wasn't always Kitty Pineapple from the beginning of my comedy career.
Okay.
But I started in 2012 as a radio character.
Okay.
But then that ended after like 2 years, and then like 2018 happens, and someone says one of my former listeners was like, "Hey, bring Kitty back." I was like, I don't know how to do this. I've never been a woman in my life before.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, all right, let's figure this out. Like, maybe I'll just do it for YouTube. So I'm looking for a wig, and I'm walking around the mall, and I turn, and I see this red and black, like ombre wig.
Straight? Did we have some curls? Was there a little?
It was a bob.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was like, and a voice just told me, "That's the one." I was like, huh?
Well, and here's the thing. If you're going to get a wig, like, let's not get a plain Jane. You know what I'm saying? Let's
glorious.
get something with a little character to it and a nice color. Like, let's go wild.
Yeah. So I'm like, that's the one. I'm like, oh, shit. That's weird. I bought it, and then I, like, you seen The Mask, yeah?
Love it. Great movie.
Yeah. Great movie. Jim Carrey. Yeah, phenomenal movie.
Yeah. It's kind of like that. Like, I put the wig went on, and this whole new persona just woke up inside of me. I was like, holy fuck.
Oh,
that's really
shit.
Cool.
I love that.
I love that.
So,
that's great.
So
that's
hold on.
awesome.
Talk us through this. Did you put it on to try it on, or were you like, I'm buying it, boom, and then because I'm a wear it out the store kind of guy. Like if I bought something, I was like, ooh, that shit is hot. Like I'm wearing it out the store. I'm gonna stun on everybody right now.
No, I didn't buy it out the store, but that was my the mindset. I said, boom, that's the one I'm getting.
Yeah.
Like,
hope you got the tag because I'm not taking it off. Like we are in the mode right now.
Yeah. So that's pretty much like I got it, and then Kitty was born. And now I have, there's two people. It's crazy. People live in my head.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah. All right, cool. All right, good.
Yeah.
We're in good company.
I'm
now.
right there with
yeah.
you.
Yeah, like because my actual pronouns are we and us.
Okay.
That is
I like that.
our pronouns.
I dig it. You know, I just don't want either one of you to get upset with me. So, yes. So I want to backtrack a little bit. You mentioned that you were on a radio show. What was that? Was that like just like a morning traffic radio show, or like what kind of vibe were we rocking with that? And how did you get into that also?
Yeah, that's cool.
Well, my friend, his name is Kamaka Brown. He's originally from Hawaii, and he had this radio show called the Sandwich Island Network.
Okay.
So I would call in as this recurring character, and when I first called in, I didn't have a name. I didn't have it was my first time calling, and then I called in and I was like, "How's it, Kamaka?" And he was like, "Who are we talking to?" And I'm like, and my friend, her name was Kitty. Okay. Her
Legitimate actual name, not a nickname, Kitty.
Oh well, her actual name is something else, but that was how I knew her.
What she went by, absolutely.
Yeah, so, and I, as a shout out to her, because I knew she was listening, I was like, "Kitty," and then the radio host was like, "Kitty who?" And I was like, "Oh shit." And I'm like, "I'm from Hawaii. Pineapple." "Oh, Kitty Pineapple, how's it?" And then like I was like, "How's it?" And then this whole I guess voice became a thing.
Huh.
So that's in 2012. Kitty was just a voice. And then in 2018, Kitty became a look and a whole other vibe. So that's, yeah. And then in 2020, someone said my makeup looked like shit. And I said, I wonder if I can change that. And then, yeah, I went on YouTube and I learned how to do makeup.
There you go.
Do you remember their name?
Yeah, that's a
so we
mean
can
thing to say,
cite
by the
them
way.
really
Yeah,
quick. How
that's a
dare
horrible
you?
thing.
No, I'm not gonna name them. I would be inclined to mention them, but I'm not going to.
I
That's
respect
the high
it.
road,
You know,
the high road.
that's the sweet Derek route. I am
That's
more
my route,
incendiary, where I just want to slash and burn everything, but we won't do it. But yeah. Oh man, here's the thing, fellas. You need to understand something. Stop shit talking the makeup. A lot of effort goes into that. You got to find your blend. You got to learn, because some of those videos about when somebody's doing a full face and they have the different shades of foundation so you can highlight like your cheekbones and stuff. I'm like, how the fuck do you guys learn how to do this? Who was the first person to learn how to do that is what I'm thinking, because I'm like,
Yeah, how did you
holy
decide
shit.
like a thing to be able to put on your face? You know what I mean? But
Why do you put that on your face, girl?
But I would say it's an art. There's a lot of like cool people that do the makeup and they can alter their face in crazy ways, like even like to like Hollywood efforts and like mass Halloween costumes, like those cool like illusions and stuff, just by using makeup, which is like really cool.
The creativity of the human mind.
Yeah.
So you got dissed on the makeup, did some YouTubing, as you do. If you need to learn how to do anything, jump on YouTube.
And now it looks great, by the way.
there.
Now
Yep.
she's gonna stun on all of you.
Top
because,
tier.
You know, now it's
Take
all-
that, name redacted, whoever the fuck you are out there. Look at it. It's perfect. So you put it on. Did you immediately go, we're going to go out and rock this? Like, even when it was not so good?
Yeah. I put on the wig and here's the thing. In 2020, when I became more vocal or became more public, it was during a time when David, the other version of me, the male version of me, when he was ready to bow out, just to step out, just be done with everything. You know, it was like a very dark time, like for a lot of us. We lost our jobs, our purpose. We were told we were non-essential. Most of us, at least.
So me, unfortunately, I was
essential, and he was essential too.
I was a store manager at CVS, so unfortunately, I had to deal with that, which, in a different way, was very stressful and very tough to deal with. You know,
yeah.
'Cause especially I lived in New York at the time, and New York, when those early days of COVID and people didn't know what it was,
just
like
insanity.
it was almost like a real life apocalypse. It was very scary. We had to limit the people that we had in the store. People were like, acting frantic, trying to just take stuff, throwing stuff at people, and like arguments, fighting over like toilet paper. Which, why was that a thing? Everyone wanted toilet paper.
You need to make sure we're not bidet people in America. We need to be sure that we can wipe our asses, even if there isn't running water.
It was so weird. It's like we had like cases and pallets of water, and it's just sitting there. But we had no toilet paper, and people would be waiting and know when our truck came in to get more toilet paper and paper towels. And I'm like, why do we need so much of that? But it was intense. So,
but enough about griping about it about being essential workers. Back to you.
Yeah, I put on these YouTube videos where there was different versions of me. There was the boy me, and then there was me, Kitty, and it was called like the bodybuilders support group, because we get messed up when we come off of a diet after having done a show.
Yeah.
And it was funny for a little while, and then I was like, I wonder if I could do stand up. And I was like, oh crap, why did I say I wonder?
There you go.
This might be a new manifestation technique that she's using, Derek. We need to get in there. I wonder if I could have the biggest podcast in the world. I wonder if Joe Rogan will be sitting across from me at some point.
So are you very like nerd? Like, do you try to avoid saying I wonder if now?
Yes. I'm no, I don't avoid it. I'm very careful of how and when I use it. Right. Yeah.
I wonder if $1 million will just start falling out of the ceiling right now.
Okay. Do you know who Ray Wold is? The guy that has there's this new comedy venue, Ray Wold's comedy thing. And
Ray World. Yeah. Absolutely. Great spot.
It was cool. Yeah. He works at the Bellagio O show, right?
Yeah. Awesome. So were you there opening night when he had all the, like when I guess I was one of the opening acts and stuff like that?
We were not. We came, I want to say they were, because that hasn't been around super long, correct?
No,
I think they were like a month in. Our mutual friend Haley invited us to watch her perform, and it was cool. They had magic. He did the fire act that he does in Bellagio, and then we went in, and the venue's just super cool. Really, really enjoyed that. That. Shout out Ray's World Comedy. We love you guys.
That show, the fire act that he did, the side show that he did, I was outside. We were, how it was all outdoors, right? Haley's next to me and our other friend Shema, and I'm recording this, and I'm like thinking, I wonder what happens when he fails.
No. Oh no! Don't be that person.
I know. I was like, oh shit.
So I'm not trying to spill too much of the tea, but I also heard from somebody
that he burned himself.
That he burned his butt on one of the shows, and I was
that was the show.
No,
that was the show.
Oh, it was. Oh my god.
At Ray Wall's comedy, yes. At his venue, that was the night.
So he got.
He even brought it up too when we were there. He was like, "Yeah, I had a little mishap," and I'm like, "My man, being on fire is not a mishap. That's a fucking emergency."
Yeah.
Oh, and who knew that Kitty Pineapple was behind it by saying, I wonder if he failed.
Oh, no.
I know. I was like, oh, no.
Forgive us, Ray. Forgive us. Oh, my goodness.
And it happens a lot when I say that, but even more so when I say things next to Haley, it happens almost immediately.
We need to get her over here now for the $1 million one then, so we can all be lightweight, rich, wealthy, whatever, what have you. Fuck you, rich people.
So yeah, she's kind of like my lucky charm. I'm like, oh, are you okay? I wonder if, and then something, and then I'm very realistic when I use it around her because I'm not gonna say I wonder if $1 million is gonna pop up right now.
I mean, what if it did? Though?
What if?
No. But I respect the technique because you got to just take small blessings and be like, I wonder if we'll find a great parking spot near the front. Boom, there it is.
Yeah.
I wonder if we'll be able to go into the restaurant and just be seated right at our table immediately, even though our reservation is 10 minutes later from now. You know what I'm saying? Like small blessings. Let's take the little W's.
Oh yeah, for sure. So yeah, that's the magic that happens. Oh, you should next time you talk to her, ask her about the last time she wondered about something. Yeah, not the last time, but in her earlier years.
I'm looking at you, Haley.
In her earlier years,
we will. That's great.
When she was 7 years old, specifically.
Really? Okay.
So, you touch on bodybuilding. How long did you do that? Did you ever compete? You're in great shape. As somebody who is trying to get just marginally where you're at, fitness wise, crushing it. And because you're doing a cut right now, I follow all the stuff you post on Instagram. You do the great fitness skits.
They're very funny.
There's also
They're
something
great.
I want you to hit
welcome.
Derek with later, but I will remember it and bring it back up. But yeah, tell us about bodybuilding.
Because like right around 2015 ish, I said those wonderful 3 words, like we were just talking about bodybuilding. Wonder if I can do that.
Okay. Well, you're doing
Do it.
You are doing it.
So
That's great. Yeah.
So I found I looked up like workouts online. I looked up trainers in the area. I was like, hey, I'm a video producer. I know how to produce videos. Can we work in trade? So he trains me in exchange for social media content or whatever.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Love a good even trade.
yeah. So like he took me to my first competition all the way up to my 7th competition, and that's when I felt I had the love to learn how to create to I guess.
Mold yourself.
Yeah,
Yep.
chisel.
Yeah.
Yeah, chisel
I
your
like-
body, I guess, right?
yeah,
Did they say
yeah.
that? I feel like
So
that's a thing. Yeah.
this is a sensitive subject amongst bodybuilders, and if you choose not to answer this, it's fine. Did you compete in classic? Were you actually cycling and doing a little extra to get more bulk, more definition, or were you just natty the whole time? Were you a natural?
Were you a natural?
I was competing in the I did men's physique
Okay.
with the board shorts,
Which is more of like a beach body type of thing. Like you're not trying to put on big mass. You're just trying to look nice, lean, athletic. Yep.
Which is awesome, yeah.
But in the league, or I guess there are different leagues. There are drug-free leagues and there are the non-testing leagues.
Oh,
But
they actually separate them. I didn't know that.
But
Yeah.
IFBB is like the big. That's like the major leagues.
Yes,
as far as
they
bodybuilders
don't
too.
test. They don't.
Oh, okay.
they
Yeah.
don't
Well, I mean,
test.
clearly. Look at the guys that are
yeah,
winning.
come on, let's be honest. Yeah.
Like Chris Bumstead, you look like a fucking marble statue. You look fantastic, my man. But I also like, what are you on? Like, get me on. I want to look good too, but
And that's what people want to see. They want to see the freaks.
Yep.
Yeah.
So like when I went into bodybuilding, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go for the full experience. When I do anything, I do it for the full experience. When I became a
respect it.
woman, I wanted the full, most of the experience.
yeah.
I'm
But
gonna keep-
all in on everything.
Yeah.
I fucking
I respect that.
love
I love
that.
that.
That's
Awesome.
how
Yeah.
we are.
That's
All
fucking
in.
great,
We're
yeah.
doing it.
Yeah.
I love it.
And so like did that, and so as a result, I would say that right around 2016-ish, 2017, 18, because of my testosterone levels were raised significantly. Scientifically, I was told that when you do that, your estrogen levels will raise significantly. It will follow.
Oh.
Oh, that's interesting.
Oh.
I didn't
Yeah,
know that.
nat-
Okay. Wow.
it'll follow naturally. So, like I become like the peak of my masculinity, up all the way up until this happened. Like
Yeah.
this. Like, I was wondering, like, how all of a sudden did I become so feminine? And then I realized, oh yeah, I wasn't taking an estrogen blocker. And that's a thing. Estrogen blockers is a thing.
Well, and I think that's something that a lot of people that aren't familiar with the bodybuilding world and using steroids and stuff is that men have estrogen too. Like, that's not strictly a woman thing. And don't women have testosterone as well?
Yes.
Right? Like, we all have it. It's just the balance that you have within you that determines what kind of effect you're getting from it, essentially. But at the same time, I think that's kind of fitting with what you said earlier about having the two sides of you, the two personalities. You got Kitty Pineapple and you got David. So it's like you got the yin and the yang, the raging storm within, you know, opposing forces, an unstoppable force and an immovable object. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah. And no one sees David anymore. No one, hardly anyone ever sees David. He likes to just chill in the back doing all the editing, the producing, and all that stuff.
Yeah,
very
but
cool.
I think that's a natural progression with things because I wouldn't so much to what you said earlier. I wouldn't so much call it a character as it is a persona. It is the difference between the two is one is something you pretend to be, and the other is like actually a part of you. Like it has characteristics of your personality and your history and everything ingrained in it. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely. And I want to say I completely agree with you on that because, you know, when I started doing this, I would go on stage and say things that David would never think to say. And I'm like, where did that come from? How the hell? How? What? All right.
It surprises you, it scares you, and it impresses you all at the same time. I know exactly what the feeling
one thing that
is
always
that you're describing.
does surprise me too is like an even more in-depth thing is people talk about like people that have written like songs, like high quality songs that have blown up, like Beatles songs and all that stuff. It feels like a foreign idea even to the musician. You know what I mean? Like when they're writing the song and they're coming up with a song, it felt like someone else was writing it and put it in their mind. So I feel like that might be similar to you in the comedy world where it's like, whoa, like I feel like it was an idea given. I came up with the idea, but it almost feels given to you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's just a unique thing. I find that a lot of artists and musicians and stuff, they say that. It feels like it's something, it just flowed so easily. You know?
Yeah.
It almost feels like it was given to you, which is wild.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's like I was just, you know? Like
Yeah.
I pulled out my little morpher, like Smorphin time. Kitty Pineapple.
Yes, go Kitty Pineapple. Fucking love
great.
Power Rangers.
Yeah,
oh
amazing.
my god,
That's great.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah, that's great. I love it. That's awesome.
But to kind of jump on top of Derek's point, I am not a super religious person. My mother was. She was a devout Catholic. Derek is more spiritual. But for me personally, I feel like God, the universe, however you personally would like to phrase it, I don't judge anyone. There are signs and there are things where, like, if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, the path just kind of opens up. You will still discover adversities and have to overcome obstacles and all that stuff, but like for the most part, it's just like, this is how you need to be going. Just go. So that kind of sounds like what you got going on.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like you're like right on the money.
Great.
Yeah, because like I don't know if you do you believe in like the third eye and all that stuff?
Here's the thing. I am open to other religious philosophies. I feel like there are many things about the universe that we don't know about, whether it being an afterlife, spirits, ghosts, what have you, extraterrestrial life on other planets. Are we all living in a tiny ant farm type thing where at any moment they could just shake the globe and we'd all be gone? You know what I'm saying? I don't rule anything out because if you can't prove it to me, then I don't believe it. I need to see it. I need to see it. You know, it needs to be tangible, but also I can have a belief and have a faith in something without necessarily getting concrete proof, but there are signs. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, there is this gland in our heads called the pineal gland. Have you heard of it?
Yep.
Yeah. So last year, earlier of 2023, I found this supplement that helps with digestion, gives you more energy with less sleep, and flushes out harmful metals from your blood or whatever.
Nice.
I was like,
What is it called?
it's called Haritaki.
Haritaki. I have heard of that. I've seen that on social media because
interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
am a big supplement guy.
Yeah.
And I want to take natural things that will help my body and also counteract some of the horrible things that I do to my body.
Yeah.
But yes, to that point, continue. I'm sorry.
No.
I'm
I'm glad you've heard of it.
Oh my goodness.
Well, this herb is great for all the things that list on the bottle, but then there's also the spiritual side effects that come with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are those also listed on the
right.
bottle, or are these some secret
they're on the
menu
next
items?
page.
Oh my goodness.
They're on the next page. And I saw some of these symptoms. I was like, oh crap. All right. And a few of these things have happened. Like I'm walking my dog with my wife, and my wife is like maybe a few feet behind me.
Okay.
We have two dogs. She has one. I have one.
Okay, I gotta
And
know first off, what kind of dogs are we talking about? Huge
Wieners.
dog guy.
We have wieners.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love them.
Love
Yeah,
them. Big
yeah.
dog
I
fans
love
here. Yep.
them.
That's great. I have a
So we're
rescue myself.
walking the weenies.
Yeah. So I'm walking with my wiener, and it's and her phone rings, and I'm like, "Is that your dad?" And she's like, "How did you know?" I was like, "I don't know. I don't know."
That is crazy.
Yeah.
And it was her dad. Yeah. That is wild.
And
That is
then
wild.
I don't know. We were walking another time. These things happen when we're walking our dogs. I think it has my wieners have a part in this.
Right.
I'm a big believer. I have loved every dog I've ever owned, and I feel like I have had a spiritual connection with them. Dogs are great. They were sent to us from whatever God you pray to as a perfect companion.
Yeah.
They
Love
really
dogs.
are. They really
Love
are.
dogs.
Yeah, dogs are the best.
So we're walking, and I walk by a street light, and the light turns off. Does that happen around you?
I fucking
No,
hate it when it
that's-
does too.
oh, really?
It's
Okay. Yeah, I
very
don't think
scary.
I've
I feel
experienced
like
that.
I'm in the Mothman prophecies, and some creature's just gonna come down and like snatch me off the street. But
crazy.
continue.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
You're opening up a whole nightmare I forgot that I had. Oh boy.
All my life, this has happened around me. Like I'm walking by streetlights. They
I
either
would've
turn
never
on
survived.
or they turn off. And then one day it turns off on me. I was like, all right, you know what? I'm going to get to the bottom of this. I go to the next streetlight. I do this. I'm like, imaginary ball of energy. Threw it at the light. It turns off. I'm like, oh, shit.
So we have LED streetlights in this neighborhood, and I
Yeah.
don't know if your technique will work, but
No.
honestly, after we're done recording, I might want to go try it. I might want to go try
We
it.
got to get the wieners first, though, right?
Oh,
We gotta
my
get the
goodness.
dogs, but that is wild.
Yeah, I don't have wieners, but I also have small dogs.
You do.
know?
They're like a mix. I feel like they have a little dachshund in them, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Everybody got a little dog. Everybody got a wiener in them.
And then, like, I guess 3 nights later, I go back. I'm driving home from a show, and I see this light that's turned off already. And I'm like, you know what? Something's telling me I can turn it on. So I go up to it, put my hand on it, breathe in, close my eyes, breathe out. And on my breath out, it turns on. And I know this because when I recorded it, I was like, no fucking way.
Oh,
We might need to see the video. Oh my god.
Yeah.
So, because I was about to ask you, did you just Kobe it on the way by and be like, on, boom? Like, you know when you're sitting at a red light and you're like, 3, 2, 1, go. And every once in a while when you nail it on the head, you're like, superpowers. You're welcome. I changed the light. But you actually got out. Oh, man.
Yeah. So like I noticed I could do. I was like, all right, I'm tripping. If I can do this with lights, I wonder what I can do with people.
Well, I mean, I know what you could do. You could light them on fire.
Jesus, Derek, we're in a tiny room right now. We don't need to test these powers out in this moment.
Sorry, Ray.
Oh, Jesus.
I had to do the callback, dude. Come on.
Retroactive burn, not literal.
That is
Yeah.
wild, though.
Yeah, and you know it's weird. Like I'm having this content creation meeting with another comedian friend of mine. And he tells me he has this pain in his neck. I was like, all right, weird. All right, cool. And I'm about to leave, and something tells me, you can do this. I was like, what the fuck can I do? I was like, hey, Jack, can I try something? And he's like, sure. Don't worry, I'm not going to hurt you. I put my hand on his neck, like just like this, for like a few seconds. And I pull it away. I was like, anything? He was like, can you do the other side? I'm like, all right, whatever. So I put my hand on the other side of his neck, and this time I close my eyes. I can see the aura of his body. It's all in red, and I can see where the pain is. It's pulsing in red, and I put my hand where the pain is, and I leave it there up until the red explodes and turns into blue. And then I take my hands off, and I look at him. He's looking at me with big eyes like, what did you do? I'm like, I don't know.
I
feel like you have a lot to say on that. That was.
I love that you're bringing this up.
This is. Love
FYI, before you go and finish that, I don't cure ED for anyone. Okay, all right. So
that was my next question. Damn it.
I don't do that. I don't need magic for that shit.
Oh my goodness. So, God, I love that story.
That is great.
My mother was a nurse for 50 years, and she loved her job. She loved to help people and help people heal. And I feel like she had that same power, you know. She just had that healing aura around her, where it's like, oh, you need whether somebody needed to just have somebody listen to them and cry on their shoulder, or if it was actually a medical thing and they needed someone to help them figure out what's going on or help them take care of themselves after a surgery or whatever. She always stepped up to the plate when it came to that. And I do believe there are people that we don't need I don't need an explanation. Like, I believe you because like I said, I just feel like there are people like that exist that just have that ability to heal. And it's a beautiful thing. I love it.
Yeah, it's a trip. It's a trip. It's kind of scary, actually. I mean, I was like, holy crap, am I really now an X-Man? I mean, I knew I was when I became Kitty, but now I'm an X-Man with powers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, on the same note, I have a really interesting paranormal story. Do you feel like you have had many instances in your life where you have possibly contacted a spirit or just, you know, just strange, unexplained things? Like, hopefully nothing scary like paranormal activities or anything.
Oh, yeah. But go on.
Cause for me, my maternal grandfather, we called him Pop. He lived with us for a short period of time, but we were very close. He died when I was young. I believe I was 10. But when he lived in the same house as us, at night I'd be sleeping and he would come sit on the foot of my bed. And, you know, when somebody, like, unless you're a super deep sleeper, which I am not, if somebody does that, you might wake up a little bit. But if you're at home and you're around people that you feel safe around, you're not going to be alarmed by it. You're just going to be like, oh, Pop sitting on the end of the bed. Well, he passed away, and it has not happened to me in quite a while. It still happens at, like, more spaced out intervals, but it's just every once in a while I can just feel somebody sit, and it's like, oh, there's Pop. He's checking in on me. He's making sure I'm doing good and stuff, so... That's on a more sentimental note. Most of my paranormal experiences come from a loving energy, you know, not like insidious and they're trying to steal my baby that I don't have, you know. So I need it. Give me a ghost story. Hit me.
Well, okay, I was this happened in 2002. I was in a boy band.
You are so fucking locked in with dates too. I feel like I have seriously damaged my brain over the years because I can go, it was in this 5-year span. I don't know where in it was, but somewhere in there. But anyways, boy band. What's the name of the boy band? Better be catchy. I want a good pun. Hit me.
I'm almost a bit embarrassed to say the name of the band because the name of the band was called Life. It was spelled Lyfe.
Of course it was with the Y. Of course. I saw it coming from a mile away.
But our group leader made it an acronym, and oh my god,
that explains the why. Because that was my second question,
and it stood for licking your fingers every time. And I'm like,
that is extremely sexual. I was not expecting that. Were you expecting some ultra positive?
No.
Oh my!
I thought it would be something like corny or cheesy and positive.
Oh my god! Wow. Okay, well, straight out with it. Now, when you performed, were there a bunch of gratuitous sexual dance moves to go along with it? Because you got to lean into a name like that.
There were quite a few. Yes, actually, there were quite a few of those moves. A lot of hip thrusts, gyrations, and
as you do
as a boy band.
We don't have as much to work with, so you gotta like. I don't need to shake anything. Nobody wants to see that, especially naked, because I'm very white. Tattoos in some areas.
So we're talking about ghost stories.
Yes. So you said
Yes.
2002.
But
You're in a
boy band.
We had
2002 Life. Lick your fingers every time, which I will never get over.
We had just got done with the gig. I think it was like some kind of graduation party, and we took some food home because in Hawaii that's what you do when you leave any kind of party. The host will be like, hey, get some food, take some for your mom. I'm like,
I am very familiar because we have a super strong Hawaiian community here in Las Vegas. I believe it is known as the Ninth Island, correct? Yeah. I love a good Hawaiian party, and that is one of the reasons, because I'm like, I'm going to go home with some delicious food after this. Yes.
Yeah. So
thank you, buddy.
We go to a park, like where it's, it's kind of quiet, whatever, but then like, this park is like in an area that's like that's kind of like creepy. Has some history.
Okay. Yeah.
And this is in Hawaii, correct?
Yeah.
Was it near the ocean? Was it scenic? I feel like all parks are scenic in Hawaii.
You know what?
Hawaii is
It's Hawaii, and the whole island, the whole state has
Beautiful.
Spiritual activity.
Yeah, it's known for that, right? Yeah, it just really has that vibe, I feel like.
Yeah. And while we're eating, the leader of our group says, hey, whatever you guys do, don't go to that tree over there. So what does our backup dancers do? They go to the tree over there.
That's like a horror movie lead-in. Like, whatever you do, don't touch that lever over there. And then what are they going to do? The exact thing you told them not to.
Touch the lever, yeah.
Yeah. So they go to the tree. They look up. They scream. And I'm like, oh, wow. They did it. They did it. And then so like we're all about to leave. We could go home, but we don't want to go home yet. Our leaders, he goes home. He's the oldest one. He has to go home. And I have the bright idea. I was like, hey guys, do you want to go to Mililani Cemetery? Now, you don't need to know where Mililani is, but cemetery is the key word here.
Yeah, you were really trying to fuck it up. They did the scary tree thing, and now you're like, let's go to a cemetery. Does anybody have a Ouija board? Those special candles that are like blood infused. Yeah. We really want to see if we can make tonight scary.
Are you sure this isn't a script to a real horror movie?
Seriously.
Yeah. So I drive us to this cemetery, and before you actually enter the cemetery with the gate, there's a long windy road, and it's really dark along this windy road. Of course there's
a windy road to the creepy fucking cemetery.
Yeah. Yeah.
The plot thickens.
So I'm in like at least at least within the next first 10 seconds, like we're driving really slow, and I'm wearing this necklace with a cross on it. One of the guys in the back is wearing a necklace with a cross on it. We start to feel it start to heat up really, really hot. Okay. And it gets hot. And then I notice that there's handprints all around our
We're
windows.
gonna see if it gets hot.
There's handprints around the windows. I'm like,
Don't like this.
okay, I'm gonna turn around now. You know, it's like, and I do it. I turn around.
Oh, so you were the driver in
I'm
this
the driver.
situation. Oh my
I'm the
God.
driver, and I know that when you're driving and it's scary, you don't go crazy. You stay the fuck
You
calm.
have to
Yeah,
fucking
you got-
maintain
yeah.
composure, people.
Yep.
Reverse slow. Okay, I'm doing this 180 thing. Okay, and I finally face the other way, and I'm driving slowly all the way up back into the traffic light where there's civilization, and the handprints disappear. I'm like,
Ooh, that's the super butthole unpuckering at that moment. You're like, the spirits were closing in on us. Like, oh my
Yeah,
God.
that is frightening.
so yeah. I asked everybody. I was like, hey, you guys okay? They're like, yeah. You guys want to go to Dead Man's Corner? They're like,
Jesus, we were really pushing it on this evening. The handprints on the window was not a paranormal enough experience. Jesus.
yeah. So we go there. We go there, and there's a cat that's walking by. He's a white cat with brown spots. Stops in the middle of the road, looks at us, and then continues his journey. I was like, all right, cool, whatever. Continue a little more.
At least it wasn't a fucking black cat.
No, it wasn't a black cat. But then 5 feet later, I see a white cat crossing the road with brown spots, stops and looks at us, and then continues its way over on the other side of the road. I was like,
And
wow,
now we're in the Matrix.
we're in the fucking Matrix.
Yeah, what?
We're in the Matrix. And so we go to McDonald's, and because like, all right, I need a break here. I need a break. My phone rings, and it's staticky, and all I hear is.
And now we're entering Silent Hill. Like, my God. I would never leave the house again after this evening that you had. Oh.
Yeah. I hear it says, I mean, the caller ID doesn't say it says data, whatever. It's not a usual thing. It doesn't say private number or anything like that. It's just whatever it is. And I was like, all right, that's creepy. So I called the elder of our group because he seems to be the wisest one. I was like, hey, we pissed some spirits off. What do we do? He's like, oh, you got to go back to the places and say sorry.
No. If Instagram has told me anything, a thorough saging will cure your problems. Maybe a trash bin full of it, and you just light a bonfire of sage and carry it around your house and
you
everywhere
told me-
with you for a full day.
You
Oh
told me
my
now
God.
I gotta go back.
Mark Wahlberg, I know you're in Las Vegas now. Don't steal this from us. This is our
this
script that we're writing right now.
This is a movie.
Name TBD. We don't even have a working title yet. Stay away from our shit. Proprietary information.
Yeah. So we go back. We do all these things all over again. We go to the cemetery, long windy road, only like where we stopped and turned around. Like, all right, sorry. Turn around. Okay, leave.
Was there handprints on the second?
No.
Oh, okay.
No,
well,
no
maybe they
handprints.
sensed.
Oh, wow.
Maybe they sensed the remorse as you were approaching. These motherfuckers are sorry. They're about to apologize. Everybody stand back and cease fire until we
stand down.
Oh my God.
And then we go to the dead man's corner and we do the same thing. Hey guys, sorry, we didn't mean to. And then we drop off one of our when we drop off one of the girls. Her dad was like, "Yeah, I thought you came home already. I just saw you walk in."
Ooh, don't like that.
Oh shit! I was like, "Damn." And that same night, I had a dream that we were back at the park, and the girls walked up to the tree, and when they screamed, they looked up, they ran back to us, and this time in the dream, I saw these two spirits stream down like the movie Ghost. Have you seen the movie Ghost?
Of course.
You know those black spirits that just
Swayze.
come out of the sewers. Mm-hmm. They come out of the trees, and they manifest themselves into these two feminine beings, and they say, "David, when you die, you're coming with us." I'm like, all right, cool. Woke up, and that was it.
That's terrifying.
So what are we taking away from that? Because if you guys go back and watch the Hot Ones episode, you can hear about my similar story that was very creepy and existential. But did they seem like they were friendly apparitions, or was the vibe slightly hostile?
Honestly, in my mind, I didn't know what to make of it at the time because they were, but then looking back now as I am Kitty, they were I think they were telling me, when you die, when you as a personality dies, you're coming with us. So Kitty came in, Diane came in. Diane is the Filipino accented woman. I don't know. If
Shout out! I've had Filipino neighbors for years. Shout out Filipinos. We love you as well. You throw a hell of a party.
Yeah. Eat.
That is heavy. Okay, so I don't know if I have a good counter to this. I thought I had a banger, creepy ghost story,
really
but
good.
you came out swinging.
Yeah, really good.
No, I want to hear it.
No. Oh, I'm going to give it to you because I got to at least try. So
That was really good.
I'm a lifelong Las Vegan. We live in the northwest area of town. When we moved out here, there was nothing out here. It was still dirt roads. There was ranch properties for people who owned horses and such. But for the most part, the northwest area of town was kind of the sticks. So right down the street from the house, there is a street called Miller. And up until, I think right after I got out of high school, there was a property there that was called the Miller Bee Farm. And this place was creepy like a fucking scene out of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It had old Model T Fords that were all rusted, old refrigerators in the yard. Like, it looked like a scene from the horror movie. Well, of course, we're in high school and we're like, gotta go in there and check that shit out. Well, before we did, it's worth mentioning that there is a backstory to the Miller Bee Farm. So clearly, it's on a street named Miller. I don't know if the guy and his family who like propagated there had the last name of Miller or whatever, but it was a bee farm. So this is kind of like on some Shutter Island type shit, but to summarize it quickly, they had, 2 or 3 children. They were farmers, bee farmers, whatever you want to call them. The wife went crazy and kids. And this was a long time ago. You're going to have to bleep that out, Derek. I heard that visible inhale. So there was an unaliving at the Miller Bee Farm. God damn it, YouTube. But anyway, so this was in years ago, like in the 20s and 30s. So he didn't want people to know that this happened. So he hid the bodies in the hives.
Oh my, what?
Then his wife attacked him and he unalived her and hid her in the bee farms. And there was a big, scary, Sleepy Hollow tree in the front. And you can imagine what he did to himself. I'm going to leave that open to interpretation so I don't have to spell it out for you.
This is the real story that happened.
The real story. You can look it up. The Miller Bee Farm. Now, if you look this up, you will find that there are a bunch of, like, this is bullshit and it's not real, but also there's a lot of ones with details, old photos, and provenance that would lead you to believe that there is some truth in it. So, I'm 17 at the time. Me and a bunch of my buddies are out doing stupid shit on a weekend, and we're like, let's go to the Miller Bee Farm. Because at this point, this is before Twitter, and I think we were doing MySpace back then. This was before this information had kind of like matriculated on the internet. It was more of a local legend. So we go there, we pull up, we go in the yard, we're taking pictures with all the old cars and doing stupid shit and stuff. And then somebody's like, let's go inside.
And you didn't know this previous story then. Well, obviously, you're basically saying as kids. You
I
just knew it was a
fucking
creepy
did.
place.
I found out very quickly, Derek, because somebody said, let's go there. I realized it was very close to my house. And then somebody told me the story and I'm like, ooh,
Yeah, I don't think
this
I'd
is a
go.
bad idea. But also peer pressure, if this is the kind of peer pressure I was under, then like I'm okay. So we go there, we park outside the fence because it's like a ranch style property that has like the big wooden fences, and there was a gate that was closed. We go inside, we're taking pictures at all the cars. This was before like everybody had a camera phone. A lot of people had digital cameras, but at the time when we would have house parties and shit, we'd buy a bunch of Polaroids, take pictures, and like develop them later. So anyways, of course somebody goes, we got to go inside and check it out because the house was still standing. So we go inside. This place was fucking creepy. There was old glass Gatorade bottles and just things that dated the home where you're like, ooh, it's fucking old in there. And it was surprising that nobody had ever, gone in there and done a little vagrancy.
It's surprising it's even unlocked. Like, I guess because there was no door at that point or whatever, you could just kind of walk in. It was an open door, because that is also crazy. Like, why is it not locked up and boarded up?
How do you think we got in, Derek? How do you think we got in?
It wasn't locked.
It was locked up. We just decided that we were going in. So we had a bunch of beer because, in high school, you go and either find somebody that can buy you beer with an ID who's 21, or you run in the store and steal it and run out and leave with it so you can go get drunk somewhere in the desert, a la this is Vegas 2000s-ish, location undisclosed. So we had the beer. We had a spot where nobody would bother us. It was creepy as fuck, but we go in there and we're drinking some beers. Somebody had a portable, stereo or whatever we used at the time. And there was probably a dozen of us. And there was a couple people that I hadn't recognized before that I didn't know. We hung out with a lot of people and went to parties with people that went to other high schools. So it's like, whatever, we're all hanging out. At one point, there were these two people that were around the same age as us, boy and a girl, clothes a little weird, but whatever. And they were just quiet the whole time. So I'm going to get myself another beer. And I look at this guy and I go, hey, do you want one? And he just kind of stares at me stoically. And I look away and I look back and he's fucking gone.
Ooh, I don't like that.
Yeah. But also, I had to maintain composure because nobody else saw that, and I was like, 17 at the time. Maybe I'm just fucking drunk.
So you thought there was two kids hanging out with you, and clearly
they were there, Derek. They were fucking there. They were real, like people. So back to the Polaroid, or back to the disposable cameras. We hang out. I'm super unsettled at this point, but I'm with a big group of people, and I'm like, nothing's going to happen. We'll be okay, which is like straight horror movie scripting right
Why
there.
would you say that?
Yeah, that's I don't
We
think-
were okay.
Yeah.
We left.
Oh, man.
I had a bunch of these cameras, and I
That's
went and got them developed, and I went to get the pictures, and I was like, oh, this is the shit from the creepy house. Let me check these out. I wish I still fucking had these, Derek. They were in the pictures. And when I got them developed, I was like, hey, we were hanging out with some people that didn't go to Shadow Ridge. That's a school I went to. Who's this? Who's this? And everybody was like, we have no fucking clue.
What?
And I wish I still had them. I don't have the pictures because that would just be insane to throw those up in the episode, but it did happen.
Oh my God.
And that place no longer exists.
So-
they leveled the property and sold it, but it was there for a long time and it was fucking creepy.
That is crazy, dude. But the only person at the time that thought there was other people there was only you, though? Or were other people like, who are these two people? So you were the only
If somebody, because we were doing teenage dirtbag shit. We were drinking and out partying. Some people were smoking weed. I wasn't doing it back then. So it was just like a passing thing. But when you're intoxicated, when you're young, you're like, oh, I'm just fucked up. Which is what I thought. But then after I went to everybody and asked who they were and nobody knew, I was like, fuck, this is insane. Those were ghosts. Oh, shit.
Oh, man, if only still the pictures.
But... yeah, so that's my creepy story. But yours wins. That was incredible.
That was
my
great.
goodness.
I mean, yours is good, too, though. That was really good, dude.
That is... I don't know. I feel like if I were looking at those pictures, like there would be a presence around you.
Oh, let's not rabbit hunt because I want to know so badly, and I wanted it for this because obviously I had a story on deck. But fuck, this was great.
What made you want to share that particular story on this particular episode?
So I have had other paranormal experiences previously, which we have talked about on the pod. One of them just to summarize it shortly, I was at a turning point in my life. It was right after high school. My girlfriend, who I was first love and all that stuff, had broken up with me. I just graduated high school. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I was out in the middle of the desert looking at the Vegas skyline, and it felt like a female presence, but I didn't see them because I was out in the middle of nowhere, and it's super dark other than like the dome light in the car, so I couldn't see them. But they told me things about my life that have become true.
Which is that's crazy. Yeah.
And I also have to say this again. They said, you can't tell people what I've told you. So I don't get into specifics, but they didn't say I couldn't talk about that it happened. So I've spoke on it a couple times. And then obviously the stuff with my grandpa, for the most part, like I've said, I don't feel like I've had any malicious paranormal experiences. For the most part, it feels like beings, spirits, possible aliens that want to guide me in the right direction and say, you're okay, or give me a little bolster and be like, you're going to do it type stuff. It's all very encouraging. So I personally have had great experiences in that respect. Wow. And a couple of slightly creepy ones because the Miller Bee Farm was fucking weird. And I swear to God, I wish I had those pictures, but I just know for a fact that they are gone. Ugh.
Are you guys ready for April 8th?
What is April?
That's going to be the solar eclipse.
Oh, okay, cool.
Oh, I didn't know we had one of those coming up.
Those are always cool to see.
Yeah.
Do you have to get the special glasses, or can you just stare at it?
If you care about your eyes, you'd put probably put glasses on.
If you don't want to be blind, special glasses are recommended.
But I'm hearing that a lot of significant things are going to happen around that time, not just in the spiritual realm, but also in a more scientific realm where CERN is about to turn their machine on again. Now, I'm not sure if you're familiar with who or what CERN is.
Is that the
Large Hadron Collider?
Yep. So I have heard about that. That's just what I was about to ask you, but yeah.
Yeah.
Because they had some kind of, and I'm not going to sit here and try to, and if you know the technical terminology, fill it in for me, but they had a sustained reaction for a certain period of time that they were like, oh my God, about, and then they closed it down. And I'm like, well, if you guys are, if you're opening a portal to the netherworld, then yes, please shut it down. But if we're doing something groundbreaking that's going to help civilization, then let's do that.
I don't want to be Stranger Things in real life, dude.
Oh, no, thank you. We don't need the upside down. Pass on that.
Yeah, and it's crazy that they're going to turn it on again. I'm like, I
don't like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'm not sure. I don't know if you know or felt the effects of what happened back in 2012 when they first did it. Do you have any slighted memories from what the rest of the world believes? Because I believe there's this theory called, I don't know what it's called is, but Mandela, Mandela effect.
The Berenstein,
all that.
That's when that happened.
Does Fruit of the Loom have the cornucopia?
I don't know if that's when that happened, but I feel like another universe is going to crash in on ours again, and now we're gonna have more memories that don't believe. Yeah,
because I will admit I am one of them, and I do believe that I'm like that. It was that way. Why is it not like that anymore? And it bothers me.
Were you on the Berenstein?
Yeah.
Berenstein.
That weirds me out a little
that
bit,
one I didn't have an opinion on, but there are plenty other iterations of that
with
like
Fruit of the
logos
Loom one
and different
is the
things.
one that bothers me because I remember there being a
the
freaking thing.
cornucopia was there.
It was there. I strongly I have strong memory of it being.
I remember because one of my sister made a comment thinking I shat myself, but no, it was the printing of a cornucopia.
This was a cornucopia, not a skid mark. God damn it! I didn't mess my undies. Get out of here. But it's interesting that you bring that up because I don't know how the colliding of memories goes, but I, throughout my life, many times have had serious lucid deja vu,
which is crazy,
where I dream about something happening and then it fucking happens. And it ranges from innocuous conversations that I have with someone in a gas station to things that I have done, and this goes back to the previous experience that I was talking about in the desert, where I got put at a point where it was like, you need to make a decision right here, and one of them is not going to be good. And so far, I have avoided the ultra bad shit. So I don't so elaborate on what you're talking about 2012 and the lunar cycle and memories colliding and all that stuff, because I need details. I need them.
Before I even go into that, I have to say I think this is gonna sound crazy, and you're gonna think I'm crazy for when you're watching me say this right now.
No. We are a very open circle here. We want the details.
My spirit guides are telling me that this gentleman right here is a starseed, and he has a soul contract that he has to fulfill that he has no idea about yet, but he's about to find out. Not through me, but through life and in time. You have a soul contract that you don't know about.
Yes.
Welcome.
Yes.
I like that.
Yeah.
I feel that too. I do. I don't know if it's something more substantial or grandiose than this podcast, but back to what we were talking about at the top, like, I do feel like things are just falling in place and happening the way they should. And me, I may be a salty motherfucker and have some hot takes and be abrasive and not necessarily get along with everybody, but I'm for the common good. I want to do good shit for people. And I despise people who are not of a similar mindset. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I am manifesting that.
Like, do things just happen for you guys?
So with this, honestly, it has. I mean, it's led to having you on here. I mean, we consider you, an awesome guest to have on, and like it just feels like, like we're just two random guys. You know what I mean? Like, we're not doing stand-up comedy, but we have a love for comedy in the scene, and we're doing this, and like we have a studio now. We're getting big guests on. We're getting people on that we care about. We're going to events, and people are like, "Oh, I've seen your page and your podcast." So yes, has it all been perfect? No, but more times than not, it's like this. It feels like we were meant to do this.
Yeah,
and things have really fallen into place, and hard work and determination, and just manifesting it or whatever you call it. It's really been happening. It's been really fun.
And to that point, with the guests that we've had on, we have all had these common connections that we didn't discuss before, where we are intertwined. So I'm big on all of that. Manifest destiny, stars align, Starseed. Is Starseed a good thing? Is there a dragon seed? Where are we at on the level of seeds? Because I want to be a top tier. Starseed sounds pretty fantastic.
It does sound cool. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I mean, well, basically, what that just means is, like, before you came to this planet, before you came to Earth, you signed up for this mission to come to Earth and say, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do what I've set out to do. But when you came here, your memory was wiped, and your mission was to figure that out.
I love that.
This is a great take.
Because, I love my parents. My mother, rest in peace, and my father, who's still with us. They are the only reason that I'm a half-decent human being. Because, I have not always been a perfect person, and I've done things that I'm not proud of, but my parents were always there to go, remember who the fuck you are. Remember, they didn't cuss a lot, so that's me ad-libbing, but remember who you are. This isn't how we raised you. We take care of our fellow human beings. We care about people and treat people with respect, and I'm big on that belief. Now, do I always uphold that to the highest degree? No. Like, I'm human. I make mistakes and stuff, but I like to believe, for the most part, I want to leave the world, this plane, however you want to quantify it, better than I arrived. So,
yeah,
Starseed.
Yeah, I would implore you guys to both just look it up and find out what that means to you, and it's crazy because you're gonna find these videos, 7 signs that tell you you're a Starseed, and you're like, oh my god, that's me.
I mean, honestly, low key already, that's the name of the episode, dude. It's gonna be Uncle
Starseed. Can you make me look like one of the stars from Mario, so I'm like flying into the sky? That's how I want to go out. Jesus, if you're listening, like take me as a star. Anyways, Natties, Check out Kitty Pineapple. Do you have anything you want to plug? You're going to be looking at late May, June. What we got going on in the summer?
Oh, we're back on right now?
Absolutely.
I thought we were really going to pee. I was getting ready to do that.
Do you want to pee?
Okay, we're doing a pee pod. This may or may not be left in.
Let's do this.
Yeah, we want
Nothing's real.
Yeah.
we want to plug your dates and your info in the end, and then you. Yeah.
Starseed has transported you to a different plane.
What's the question?
So the question is basically, what do you have coming up? You have any shows?
Yeah, you have any
coming up?
dates?
You have any dates? Anything
We
you
do
wanna
any
plug?
skit releases? Give us the deets. What do you got coming out?
Anything to plug?
I guess the biggest thing that's happening right now here in Vegas for me is going to be at the... when is this going to drop? When is this gonna
This is
air?
probably going to be like I would say late April.
Late April, early May. So it'll be late April. So you want to plug stuff that's like late April, early May.
Yes.
Oh, all right. Late April is like April 22nd late enough?
No, that would be fine. Yeah, that'd probably be good.
All right, cool. Because April 22nd, I'm doing a taping at Wise Guys Comedy Club.
Yes, the first responder
nice. Let's
show.
go.
We
Yes.
will be there, Natties, and this is going to be a great show. Our friend Haley Brooks will also be there. So if you're in Las Vegas, you
great.
better be in attendance. That's going to be a good one.
Yeah, she's gonna be there, and it's crazy because like, I was talking with the comedy reviewers. You know who they are?
We've heard of them. We've heard of them.
Yeah, they said they were gonna go see Haley perform. I was like, all right. I think they mentioned they were gonna see Haley perform. I was like, Haley. In my head, I was like, I wonder if, bruh. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I do.
Here we go, yeah.
I do.
Here we go again.
You heard it here first, people. We are putting that out there. Yep.
I wonder if she's gonna end up on this taping or this show. And sure enough, yeah, she is. So come check us out, Wise Guys Comedy Club, April 22nd. That's a Monday night at the town center location.
Yep, and it's great, guys. Great venue. Our friends are performing there. It's going to be a great show, supporting first responders and was teachers as well, teachers and first
I think it is,
responders.
yeah. I believe
Don't
it's
want to
teachers,
leave anybody out.
Yep.
Shout out to teachers too, but yeah, that's going to be a great show.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Gonna be awesome. Go check them out, Natties. It's gonna be great.
Anyways, this has been an awesome episode. Thank you, Kitty, for coming on. I feel
Thank
like we could talk for
you.
hours. So
Thank
you
you,
are
thank
definitely going to
you.
have to come back and have another little chat with us. But yep, that has been the incredible Kitty Pineapple. I'm Uncle Kyle, as always. That's my man, Sweet Derek, on the other end of the couch. We will see you on the next one, people.
Aloha.
Like, share, subscribe,
Later.
email, regular mail. Talk to me on the
That
street.
is it. All right. That was great.
That was awesome.
That was really good.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Naturals Pod. Please remember to follow us on your Twitter and Instagram accounts at the Naturals Pod. Do you have what it takes to join the Natty Nation? Like and subscribe to find out.